Hey friends, happy Thursday. I hope your Thursday is a great one. Mr. Jerry went to an auction this morning, and when we got up he asked Google what the forecast was supposed to be like today, because Friday was an all-day rain, and he has an auction he wants to go to Saturday. We're supposed to hit 80 today. The second day in May, and we're going to hit 80. So he went to the auction, and I got around, took a shower, did my devotions, and had my 5-point smoothie with a cup of coffee, and was knitting on his sock. And then he came home, and I think he wanted to go up and get a couple of doors. We've been looking at a couple doors, one for the sunroom, a storm door, and another door for our front of our house, another storm door. So he'd been looking those up apparently, and he said, well, let's just go do that. Well, so I brought my knitting, and we stopped to the nursery on the way up. Well, first of all, we stopped to M37, and we got the raised flower bed, and it's really not bad at all. He's going to clean it and restain it. It's cedar, but it has the nice heavy lining already stapled inside of it. So once he gets that all set and done, then we'll go get some, you know, down the road, because probably next week or so. We'll get some dirt and go down to our local nursery and get some strawberry plants for that. But on the way up from picking that up, we stopped to this nursery we've never been to before. We always drive by it, and then we always heard good stuff from them, called Hardner and Warner's. And I didn't know we were going to stop there. Well, up in our front yard, we'll trek back a little bit. Up in our front yard, there was this huge bush that had been there. Well, we've been to that house probably 22 years, so it was there a long time. And this winter, when we had our ice storm and stuff, by the time March came around and stuff, it had split it in like 3 different areas. So he cleaned that all up. Well, he'd like to put something else there, and I've always wanted, well, I got lilacs. I've got the lavender lilacs. I've got like 3 of them already, and a 4th one that is just a small one. You would have saw that a couple of videos ago. And so but my grandma's always had, growing up, the deep purples, and I always, sometimes they would get so purple that they were almost at midnight black purple. And I said, you know, if we're going to get more lilacs, I'd like to do that, because everybody has the light lavender, everybody has the whites and all that, but dark purple is hard to find around this area. So when we stopped there, we got out, and he went inside, and I followed him, and asked if they had the dark purples. Well, they got us some help, and lo and behold, it just came in on the shipment this morning. So we got 2 of them. They're laid back there. Smells so good. Oh my goodness, they smell so good already, because they're already starting to bloom. So we got those laying there, and now we are at Home Depot, and he went in to pick up the 2 doors. So he doesn't need my help for that. But and then I asked them, I've always wanted, the other thing my grandma always had was African violets and poppies. She also had gladiolus, you know, the tall stalk ones that have all the giant flowers that grow right up, and they get almost sometimes 2 to 3 foot tall, and you have to stake them and tie them. So they did not have the African violet or the poppies, but she took my name, my number, and if they get some, she will call me, because it's very hard to come by in our area for this stuff. So I'll keep my eyes open for poppies and African violets. But that was the other thing that my grandma always had, and I can always get gladiola bulbs there. They're kind of expensive, but if I run across them, I'll grab some. So it just brings me so much joy. You know, Mr. Jerry keeps the flower beds tilled and cleaned and everything, but I love being out there with him too, potting all the stuff, you know, and watering all the stuff and enjoying it. And I think I come by it because my grandma always did it, my other grandma always did it, and Jerry's grandma always had roses, and I remember that. In her sidewalk, she had roses that were lined up, and she had a pretty long sidewalk, so she probably had maybe 20 roses, you know, that went towards her house and then back out towards the road. And she always took care of those. And when we met and then we got married, she didn't live too much longer. Let's see, because we would have been, let's see, Isaac was born maybe 4 years. And so she would tell me how to take care of roses, because I always loved to have roses, but where we lived, there was really not a place to put a rose bush, and they were kind of expensive. We were young kids on a budget with just one working, and it was tough times. We were on food stamps and all that good stuff, and his mom every once in a while would sit there, and when she bought groceries, she would sit there and stop to the house, and she said, you know, they just had, you know, extra stuff, and so I just bought 2 extra bags of stuff. And she would always do that. And his grandma, we were buying her house from her, and so when she knew that we couldn't afford only so much, I think our rent was like $68, if that. And then, of course, when she passed away, she had wrote in her will that the house was to be given to us with no money. It was, you know, her gift. And when we got married, he knew somebody that had a house down in Fort Myers, and they let him use that for the week, no cost, as a wedding gift. And his grandma gave him $500 for gas and to get us there and back. So his family's been awful kind to us and awful good to us. And not that my family isn't, but you'll hear more stories of his family doing than my family. So, but yeah, my grandma and his grandma. So now I have roses, because I can afford the roses, and I have several roses, and I have miniatures and teacups, and oh my goodness, if I can fit another rose in someplace, I will do it, because it just gives me such joy to be around them, because it reminds me of the good times with my grandmas and how special grandmas sorry, allergies, how special grandmas were, you know. So anyways, my friends, I just thought I'd come on and just say, hey, we will be heading home after this, because I know Mr. Jerry, after lunch, he will want to get those planted, and we got fertilizer and stuff like that. And so we'll get that all done. And but I just wanted to say, hey, and rain is coming, but I think into the night, and then all day soaker tomorrow. We can get up like a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch of rain, something like that. So, but I will let y'all go, and I will chit chat with y'all later. Have a great day, my friends. Thanks for listening, as always.